Right. Hi. I just got locked out of my apartment. Funny story. Um, so this is the part two, to transitioning. Um, I kind of split it up because I needed to take, I think, a step away for a second. But basically, I'm kind of recording this right after the other one, to kind of maintain one. What do you call it? One like train of thought. But I went outside to see a friend. And then I got locked out of my apartment because we have key cards in our apartments and the battery died on my door. So I got into the building, but I couldn't get into my flat, into my apartment. So yeah. Anyway, we were talking about transitioning and the conversation I had with my mom. And yeah, that's kind of what I sat down and kind of started to realize that things were shifting in a kind of weird direction, in a different direction. Um, because earlier this year she read me my horoscope, or like I don't know, she did something. But she basically told me that in um at some point in the near future, I will be at a completely different stage of my life, and I will look back and realize that so much has changed, and people will even kind of look at me in a different way, and they will kind of admire how much work I've put into. I'm like a completely different person, and that so much happened in such a short amount of time. And this is where I'm starting to realize. This is where I'm starting to kind of come to the conclusion of maybe it's true. Maybe this is happening. Um, but yeah, basically, um, so we had that conversation, and then this was now the weekend with my sister and her fiance. So the first night, Friday, yeah, we spoke about that. Saturday, Saturday was a bit different because we had breakfast all together as a family. My dad was even present. Because I didn't know what his approach was. I didn't know if maybe potentially, because I was talking with my mom. I said she might find out somehow. Like she did post pictures online. Like, do we not think that he's like smart enough to know, like to find out? But basically, um, I didn't know whether maybe he just didn't like him or something happened. But my mom did kind of say they got into an argument, about money, and then we had breakfast. Everything was fine, and then we came up with this big grand idea that we're gonna go because my sister drives, obviously, and my dad's been using her car while she's away at uni. And she's like, all right, let's go for a drive. So we went, and like, because we live in the village, we live like uh, 20 minutes away from Radom, which is like the closest town like to us. And so we drove into the town center, or like city center. I don't know. Would it be considered a city? I don't know. Anyway, so we drove into the town center and we are going to go shopping. We're going to go potentially buy him some shoes because my mom spoke to her about that. We're going to go find him some shoes. But this kid, he wears size 47, 48, which translating into like UK sizes is like a 13, 13 and a half, which that's a big fucking foot, you know? But yeah, anyway, so we are gonna go buy him some shoes and we are gonna go buy some games because we wanted to play Uno and maybe some other games. And then they were gonna show me this cool shop with like it had a bunch of shit in it, but it had international like snacks and things. So we would just went out for the day. And My mom did bring up a very interesting point because my sister kind of she says things in a weird way. She says things like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy," or "Yeah, I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy that." And my mom even said like, she doesn't have any fucking money. They have a joint account, so she uses his credit card or his card, and she says, "I paid. I'm going to buy." Are you though? And I did see this like firsthand kind of. Uh, it's quite funny. Yeah, so we went out. I did most of the buying, to be fair. Like, I bought all of the games. I bought all of the. So they loaded up a whole trolley or a whole cart of, or a whole basket of just international, like, different sweets and crisps and chocolates and whatever. And my mom's been on this whole health kick. So obviously, the first thing I was looking for was things that were like gluten-free, no palm oil, things like that. I said, it'd be nice to buy her some things. And yeah, they just loaded up. I paid for everything. I basically paid for everything. We went to another shop and she bought some like cheap stuff and she said, "Oh, I'm gonna buy you this." Are you buying him things like with his money? Like that makes no sense whatsoever. But anyway, doesn't matter. Their life. Not my circus, not my monkeys, you know? But basically, yeah, so we went out for the day and then we came home. And I think they went out with the dog and I put down the bag of things. And my mom's like, "What the hell is that?" You know? And I started taking things out. And Jesus, was my mom furious. She was like, "Why are they buying all this shit? They can't afford this shit. Why is this here? There's so much sugar, so much crap. You know, this, that, blah, blah." And I was like, "Mom, I paid for it." She's like, "Why are you buying them shit?" I said, hold on, hold on. I said, I don't see them much, right? I already chipped it. So we bought my sister this like tablet thing with my mom. Cause she was complaining that, all these girls at uni, they have like tablets and things, and she has an old laptop that she has to constantly plug in because it doesn't work without, and the battery's dead basically. So we got her this tablet that has like a keyboard and like, you know, stylus so she can write on it or whatever. And we got him some headphones, some like Bluetooth headphones because his broke. And so, yeah, I chipped into that. And then I said, like, I don't see her that often. I said, I can buy them some things, you know, rack up some brownie points for the future in case my career kind of goes nowhere and she becomes this like high fucking profile lawyer, you know, I need to stay with her. Easy, you know? But anyway, that was a joke. I'm gonna be more successful. Get fucked, bitch. Anyway, just, you know, some casual sibling rivalry, you know. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah, so I said to my mom, so just calm down. I said, "Look what I got." I said, "Look, I got you these crisps." I said, "They're very healthy. For me, I read all the ingredients. It looks very good." And she's like, "Take that fucking upstairs. I don't want to see it." I was like, "Okay." Right. My mom had some time to kind of cool down. And we started like playing some games and they took out all these Pringles and stuff. There's so many fucking flavors of Pringles. Like in store. Here to get those, you have to go on like TikTok shop and buy them from these like weird American fucking sweet shops. Here, it was just in the shop. And there was all these flavors that I've never even seen, even on TikTok shop. I was like, damn, I want to try all of them. But then I remembered that I got some American Pringles the other like month. And there's so much crappier than like our Pringles. Like they're paper thin. They're filled with a bunch of shit. They don't taste of anything. Like genuinely, they taste of nothing. I was like, what the hell? I prefer to stick to our like basic ass Pringles that like don't change ever. Like we have one fucking super secret Santa flavor once a year and that's it. Or they come up with some fucking stupid, you know, whatever. I love Pringles. but not the American Pringles. So I said I'm gonna stick to what I know. I did get some. They were like Japanese something with something. I forgot what flavor they were. Anyway, they got basic flavors because they don't get many Pringles in Poland. So she got salt and vinegar. I think he got some like the purple barbecue ones or whatever. And my mom's like, "Oh, well, I want some Pringles." And I was like, "Okay." And then I said to my mom, I said, "What are you doing?" Because mom's like on a gluten-free diet. She doesn't eat gluten at all. And I said, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Eating Pringles." I said, "Do you realize that Pringles aren't gluten-free?" I said, "No, they are. They are gluten-free." I said, "No, they're not. They have like fucking starch in them and shit." So I said, They don't, they have gluten." And she's like, "Fuck off." And like, like crisps are apparently my mom's like guilty pleasure. Like that's her like cheat snack. Because she explains to me, she's like, "I'll eat like a bag of crisps, but that's my meal. Like I'll eat the 500 calories in the bag of crisps, but I'm gonna skip the meal." And to be fair, she has lost a lot of weight, which I don't understand. Like I don't get it, you know. Like anyway, um, so yeah. Anyway, and I told her, I said they have gluten in them. She said, "Oh my god, I had 4 crisps." Blah. Yeah, whatever. Um, Funny story. I don't know. That just came out of nowhere. Anyway, I had a very chill weekend, basically. I got my dad some beer. I got myself some beer. Well, not beer. I got Desperados. I'm not drinking beer. Fuck that. I got him some beer. I got my mom some beer. I got my sister some. They were drinking like these Radler, like, juicy beers. Like my mom had zero alcohol, like 0%. And my sister had some like mojito or whatever bullshit infused beer thing. Um it was like a cider. It was more of a cider than it was. Um and so yeah. So I had some Desperados and then we played some games, had some food, had some snacks, watching TV as a family. I made a stupid comment. My sister got upset, basically told me to shut the fuck up, and I went upstairs and again had a conversation with my mom about how immature she is and this and that. And then basically the next day, she came downstairs and she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," blah blah blah. Because I sponsored the whole fucking weekend. I paid for like not even like half of their presents, like a little bit of respect, bitch. But anyway, um, and then Sunday they were going to pop the question because I said to my sister, I said, "You need to do it this weekend because the later you put it off, the more he's gonna get pissed off." And I was already kind of feeling like my dad was a little bit like, right. So, they were packing upstairs, and because this guy, his name's Paul, he addresses my parents as mom and dad, which is very, very like very nice, very like respectful. He feels part of the family, and they've made him feel that way, which is great. And he is a good kid. He is a very good kid. He works hard. Like he clearly loves my sister because he fucking buys her so much useless shit. Um, I mean, she needs to keep this mom. Like, this is my mom. This is what my mom has been going on about. Like, she needs to respect this man, put food on the fucking table like she was taught to, clean the fucking house, considering she doesn't have a job to go to, and she only goes to uni for 3 days a week, we find out. So technically, she could find a job Thursday, Friday, or even on the weekends. But my mom's like, let her study, let her do her exams and all this bullshit, let her go. Fine, whatever. But she needs to keep this mom. So he said to my dad, he said, "Dad, can I speak to you?" And my dad's a little bit socially awkward. So he was like, yeah, no problem. Let's go upstairs, blah, blah. So they're talking. And me and my mom are talking. They're like, "So how are we going to play this off?" Because he's going to come downstairs and he's going to announce, what are we going to say? Are we gonna pretend we didn't know, or are we gonna say that they told us yesterday, or, what are we gonna do?" And she's like, "Yeah, we'll tell him, they told us, like, yesterday or Friday or whatever when we were at the table where my dad went upstairs." I said, "Oh, good idea, because he wasn't there. Because Saturday, he was kind of around the whole time, unless, they could have done it separately. Like, they told me when we were shopping, and they told my mom, a bit later. Um, because she did go upstairs and have a conversation with my mom, but that was basically about shoes and money and stuff. Because to be fair, I think my mom gave her money for shoes. Anyway, so we're like, right, gotta play this off. Mom was like, "Just ring cool. It's fine. It's okay. Whatever." I said, "Okay, cool." My dad comes downstairs. No, he's coming downstairs, and all of a sudden you hear, in a very like abrupt tone, like, "If you fuck with her, I'm gonna fuck with you," or like something like that, like in Polish, like, "If you break her heart, I'm gonna break you," like a dad does. And he's like, "Yeah, yes, sir, no problem. This and that." My mom's like, "Oh, you can't speak to him like that." And obviously, I said to my mom, I said, "It's a joke." And then we started laughing because I said to my mom, I said, "Shut up." I said to my mom, I said, "Shut up, because he's gonna break us next." Um, if he finds out that we knew. So he comes downstairs and we play it off very cool. And he's like, "Oh, they're getting engaged." My mom was like, "Really?" I said, "They told you." When I was like, "Well, you knew." She's like, "No, we found out like yesterday, but obviously, they didn't know how to approach you. So they asked for some advice." But she said she doesn't know much about the situation. My dad's like, "Oh yeah, they want to do this, they want to do that." I was like, "Good." My mom played it off. Like, well, because sometimes she dubs herself in. And we were talking, he's like, "Oh, it's great. I'm happy for them, but I do think that they should wait for like the wedding, this and that, because it's easier to break off an engagement than it is to break off, like, get divorced." And we completely agreed. We said, like, let her finish at least school, or like at least finish the first like 2 or 3 years, so she knows that she's settled in. Let her get her bachelor's, and then like maybe before her master's they get married. Cool, whatever. And then my mom said something stupid along the lines of like something that kind of could have indicated that we knew a lot earlier. And my dad's like, "Oh, so you did know?" And she's, "No, no, no, no. This, she played it off. Whatever. It's fine." Um, and then he we got them back in for another conversation. We were just like talking a little bit, and like, where do you see the future? How are you guys gonna like, what is this gonna look like? Everything was fine. Everybody left on a very happy note, which I was happy. I was like, okay, the weekend went successfully. No crying, no tears, no anger, no shouting, no yelling. The kid's not scared off. My dad didn't scare him off. Because my dad, even though he is a very gentle homebody, he can roar. Like, he is, he can be very, very, he gets angry very easily. But yeah, anyway. Um, in the rest of the week, I kind of just watched things. I was watching some movies. I watched some movies with my parents that Sunday. We made some dinner. Um, because they left pretty early. My dad took him to the train station. They left pretty early because he needed to get back he had work. So they got back for about, I think, either 6 or 8, and then he had work. No, I think they got back for 6, and he had his like lift at like 8 or something. Um, but yeah, so we watched some TV, and then it was a new week, and I kept saying to myself, I've got like a good like 5 days, because I was flying out Saturday, so I've got like Monday to Friday, and then turns out my mom got 2 days off, Thursday, Friday, to spend time with me. And yeah, so that happened. And then, basically, um, yeah, a lot of things were happening. To be fair, not much was actually happening, because I was gonna go see a friend, but I didn't go see her. I was gonna go see my grandparents, but then I was ill, so I didn't want to get them ill. I think I got my sister ill, but and then what? Thursday we spent it was like a family day in the garden. Basically, we're just doing some gardening and some housework and um just to kind of sort things out. Um and and that was the day where it was like weird because I at this point it sounds really stupid, but I always knew that ladybugs were kind of a symbol of like good luck and good fortune. And this day, out of nowhere, because this never happens, we're outside and on our actual house, like on the exterior walls, there was like millions of them. There were so many ladybugs everywhere. I said to my dad, I said, "What the hell's going on?" He's like, "I don't know. This never happens. Like, it's a bit weird." I just kind of sat down and I was just like looking at all of them. I said, all these different colors, like red, orange, black ones. Some of them with spots, some of them without spots. You might think, what the fuck is he on about? And then I started reading about symbolism. And that's when I, um, because there was a lot of black ones that were like landing on me. And I felt like this is one of those like weird movie moments. Like, like this is a sign. And then I read, I said, so it says on Google, black ladybugs symbolize transformation, change, and spiritual growth. They also represent patience, perseverance, and adaptability. While red ladybugs are often associated with good luck, the black ladybug carries a unique meaning related to the power of change and inner development. And to be fair, they are quite rare. I haven't seen many of them here. I've seen like red ones, but I've never seen so many in one like collection, you know? So I just kind of like, I just sat there and kind of a very like reminiscy type, I was just thinking to myself, I said, wow, you know, um, I'm, s- s- I was just the main character of my own little story, you know? Yeah. So this was Thursday, and then we were just watching some TV with my mom. Um, Friday we spent also just watching a bunch of shit. Because I said, normally, like, we would be cleaning, and I said to my mom, "So are we cleaning today?" She said, "Nah, fuck that." And, she was gonna clean on the Saturday, because my flight was, like, I think oh god, I'm tired now. I think we left at, like, 9:30, so they were gonna get back for, like, 11 or noon, and, like, easy. Um, or no, well, more like 12. Yeah, more noon. But, yeah, she was just gonna kind of quick clean the house after, um and, yeah, so basically that. And um yeah, I just had a lot of like contemplation moments during my holiday, you know? But what the weirdest part was I got back I had something. I had some sinus infection towards the end. I don't know what it was, but I had so much shit. Like I felt fine, but my sinuses were just awful. And obviously it's the change of air, it's the change of everything, it's the change of environment. I'm in the countryside. A lot of people there still like have old like furnaces in their houses, so they're warming up the house. They're heating up their heating is a furnace, which obviously does pollute the air a lot, and they're trying to get them all removed there. Now we have this like weird system. I remember they have so much shit in my house. Like I before, when I used to live there, when I was like growing up, we used to chop wood with my dad. We used to like bring in the coal. We used to burn, like firewood and coal in the furnace, and that would heat up the house and the water. And now they have this whole fucking high tech bullshit. They got solar panels, they got AC. Oh, they're all honestly, but yeah. So I had so much shit in my nose. Um, and when I landed, the flight, oh, that's what also pissed me off. The fucking bitch at the airport. Jesus Christ, what a cunt. Um, so stupid as well. Like never. I've been to Poland at least 6 or 7 times since I've moved, right? I've tried to go every year. I've been here for about 7 years. Um, and, yeah, I'm standing in the queue to get into like, I got through, security, I got through everything fine. I did take off my shoes because I got a little bit paranoid. Because everybody was taking off their shoes, and I'm like, "Normally, I don't have to." But I'm like, I don't have to at Luton because they have these, like, high-tech fucking things, and I also had trousers that kinda like, you could see the whole boot, like, you can see the whole because I was wearing Doc Martens, you could see the whole shoe, but I don't know. Anyway, so I just took 'em off. I said, "Let's be safe." And then, so I was waiting in the queue. In Merriman, I got some cigarettes at duty free, and I got some other shit. Because I didn't get anybody any gifts, and I was like, oh, I need some magnets and some, whatever, just to bring back. And I was waiting in the queue with my bag, and I have a duffel bag. It's like I forgot the brand. Doesn't matter. I have this just black duffel bag. And this woman comes around. Bear in mind, she's young. She's not old. You would expect something like this from an old fucking crone, not from somebody young. She says to me, she's like, can I see your boarding pass? I said, yeah, no problem. Here's my boarding pass. She says, do you have priority? I said, no. I thought maybe she was like, do you want to go stand in that queue, yo? No, this bitch says to me, I think your bag's too big. You need to go check it. And I'm like, you fucking asshole. I said, never in the 7 years that I have flown, well, I have been flying with Wizz Air, have I had to check my fucking bag. And now this little fucking 19-year-old blonde bitch that just fucking, barely passed her exams in school decided to be a fucking, she's not even a flight attendant. She's a fucking flight fucking boarding assistant. Like, calm down, bitch. Go sit behind your fucking desk and check your fucking boarding passes. Anyway, she says, you need to go over to him and check your bag. So I go over to him, to this guy standing there. I look at him, another fucking 20-year-old. I'm like, I was told to come to you, check my bag. He's like, okay. I remember these are Polish people. So they all got our fucking resting bitch face. Give them some gum. And God, you got the whole fucking package deal. He's just standing there like, put it in. So I'm like, okay, I'm putting in. My dumbass is putting it into the bigger, the little suitcase one. He's like, not that one, this one. And I look at it, I'm like, oh fuck, how am I gonna fit that into that? And I always knew there'd come a day like this. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So I go, I do my little thing, trying to fit it in. He's like, do you have anything from duty free? I said, yeah, I got some stuff. Okay, take it out, put it into the bag. I said, okay. And then he's like, and I had a water bottle in there as well. He's like, take out the water bottle, put it in the bag. I said, okay. Anything on the sides? I see, I got my wallet and my book. Take out your book, put it in the bag. I said, Jesus, purse. I said, what am I supposed to bin this? He's like, no, just keep it on the side in the bag. And then it was just clothes, obviously, in the duffel bag. He's like, see, look, well done. I'm like, you fucking bitch. He's like, just keep everything in the bag and board the flight with the bag in your hand. I said, okay. So obviously he was trying to help me and like obviously to fake that I was I bought everything at duty free, which is allowed. You can't do that. There's no like weight in the once you've gone through security, it doesn't fucking matter. So I get back into the queue further down the line, and this bitch is walking past again. Can I see your boarding pass? I look at her, I say, you've already checked mine. I've already checked my bag. She's like, okay. I'm like, you don't even remember me. Anyway, dumb cunt. Yes, he got into the flight, and turns out I was sat in I actually had this I don't know why this plane was built completely different. I was sat in the normal seats and I had so much space in front of me. I don't get it. But anyway, I was sat further down, and what was amazing is, so I sat down and I was in the middle. All right, I was like, fuck's sake, I'm in the fucking middle again. Or no, actually, I was in the aisle. I had an aisle seat. So I sat in the aisle seat, and there was a girl by the window, and there was an empty seat next to me. And sometimes I just pray that nobody fucking sits in that seat, you know? And then this couple is coming in. They're across from me. But obviously, this guy is supposed to be sat next to me, and she's supposed to be sat in the other aisle seat across from me. So they're like talking, and they're like, oh, I wonder who's going to sit here, blah, blah, blah. We'll wait, because they're going to ask the person to swap. It was literally we were in the same row. They just wanted to swap seats, which is fine, I suppose. And then I said to them, I said, oh, I can swap with you now. And they were like, oh, okay, yeah, great, yeah, whatever. So we swapped. Turns out I made the best fucking decision of my life, because I took her seat, but there wasn't anybody sitting in the middle. So he technically could have sat there. And then I would have had, well, to be fair, it wouldn't have changed anything, because he would have been sat next to her anyway. So I would have had either this girl by the window or that girl by the window. It didn't really matter, because I wasn't interacting with either of them. I was just playing, what was it? A Little to the Left, I think. I started playing A Little to the Left back in Poland, because they have the app now, and you can like do, arrange fucking cupboards on your phone. And I love that game. And I was just playing that the whole flight, and I passed the game. I was so sad, because I still had about an hour left of the flight. Anyway, but yeah, so I had nobody next to me, so I was very, very comfortable. And it was a very smooth flight as well. So yeah. And then the minute I landed, I was like, I don't feel great. I had a cigarette, right? Yeah, no, bad habit, shut up. Fuck off. And then something just went wrong in my head. I don't know whether it was like the air pressure, because I think I overwhelmed my head. I landed different, air pressure in the sky, and then different air when I landed, and then straight away just cigarette. I was hungry because I didn't eat anything. Because this time I genuinely didn't eat it. I don't like to eat before flights, so I had nothing. Like, I was hungry. And then I had a cigarette, and I think I just overwhelmed myself. Because the whole, so my friend Manda picked me up. So the whole, drive home, I had like everything was just coming out of me, and it was just yellow fucking mucus and snot, and it was so bad. Like my nose is squeaking because of the pressure. It was so bad. Anyway, also I slept 2 weeks without my humidifier, which does really help. I don't know why it helps, but it does. But anyway, so yeah. And then I got home, Amy was home, and we had some pizza, which I think was a very bad decision. Not eating anything, and the first thing I eat is something like greasy and cheesy, and especially like in Poland, I was eating like home cooked meals and healthy shit. And I did by the end of it. My mom even said, like, you look like you've lost weight here. Normally you put on weight when you go on holiday, but you look like you've lost weight. I put it back on now. Like, it's fine. Like, honestly, I'm so depressed now about it. But anyway, so yeah, and then, I went to see a friend, and went to see Ivan, who also is my manager, and he lives in the same building. And we had a cigarette, and I think I had potentially 2 even, like in one, go. And honestly, when I got back so I had one before. So when I got home, we had like a group, me, Amy, and Ivan had a cigarette, and then later on we had one. I think I had 2 then, so that'd be 3 in total. 4 in total that day. And I came home. I just got upstairs and I said to Amy, I'm going to bed. And I threw up. Like, I was so, like, it was so bad. Then the next day, I was like, okay, so I had a bit of migraine. I had some food. I think she was at work in the morning and then she came home. We had some food, blah, blah, whatever. And then basically, again, I went out, had a couple of cigarettes, and then came home and it was projectile. Like, it was so bad. I was like, why am I throwing up so much? Why is my body just rejecting everything? And then I realized maybe this is part of that transitioning period. Because I did read, it's a whole spiritual thing. If you like this mumbo jumbo, you can listen. If not, I don't know, skip ahead. I don't know how far, but anyway. But like I read that if you're going through a transitional period, you do get migraines, you do get sick easily, you do throw up because your body is like transition. It's morphing. It's doing, completely, it's on a different cycle. Or it could have just been I had a stomach bug. I caught a stomach bug on the plane home and I just threw up. Who knows? Who knows? But I like to tell myself that, not these last, but those 2 weeks were like a whole period, like a new transitional period. It was like a climax and now I'm going into different things. But yeah, basically, yeah, and then I had Sunday and Monday off. So yeah, I was just throwing up 3 days before work. I think I even threw up the night before work, and technically she probably shouldn't have got in because God knows what I had. But I went in, nothing happened really. First couple of days of work were actually fine. But to be fair, these last couple of weeks have been fine. Like, not much is like, yeah, people piss me off here and there, but I mean, you just got used to it, you know. Um, People will never understand what it is to be a manager once they're in that position, and I think like it's our job to do everything. Sorry, every single little issue out. It's not. Spoiler alert, it's not. I don't really give a fuck. I even said to some people, I said, I'm at a point now where, like, it's my time. Like, if you have an issue that really isn't an issue and you don't have a solution for it, like, you don't come to me with a solution, you just come to me with a problem, I'll just show you the fucking door. Like, sometimes some issues are not even meant to be sorted out. Just fucking leave. Like, just pack your shit and go. Like, this clearly isn't working. Cause yeah, there was some drama and some shits went down when I was away. But you know what? It is what it is, isn't it? Um, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. I wasn't going to talk about White Lotus, but I don't even remember much. I've made some notes. I might do a whole, like, to be fair, I was going to do so many episodes. I was going to do Black Mirror, and I was going to do, now I want to do what? No, you know what? We'll just leave White Lotus for now. I enjoyed it overall. I prefer the second season to the other ones, but anyway, when I got home, um, oh, when I was in Poland, my mom showed me a bunch of like very healthy recipes that I want to implement into my diet because I do feel like genuinely these crackers did help a lot. So basically, my mom was making these like vegan gluten-free crackers, which you might have heard me in part 1 that I was gonna make tonight, but it's like 10 o'clock and I can't be fucked. Like, it's gonna be too noisy because I have to like grind seeds and shits. And well, basically these crackers, they have sesame, sunflower seeds, they have pumpkin seeds. I'm supposed to use cashews, but I have like a mixed array of nuts, some almonds, cashews, and some peanuts or whatever. So I'm gonna use that because it's supposed to be, it's that kind of, and the shot. It's like a binding thing. Anyway, and then there's flaxseed, there's chia seeds, and basically I think just some oil and some spices. And they're really nice crackers, although 2 times I made them, they didn't fucking come out at home. Like, I don't know how my mom did it. And so I think I just have to spread them a little bit more thin. But anyway, so I want to make them here. I bought everything. I bought like glass jars to keep them in. It's like I've had a lot of fun sorting all that shit out. Um, but yeah, so I got some of that stuff when I got home, and I got this book. Right, I found this book. This book is called "Today I'm Feeling Bad. Tomorrow I'll Feel Better." It's time to breathe. It's time to believe in yourself. It's time to smile, but this time for real. And it's by Victor Charlie? Victor Charlie? I don't know. But yeah, I saw this book and I thought, you know what? Let me see what it's about. I love like little poetry books. I don't read books, but I read poetry books. Like I will read because they're so much easier to read. You just kind of, you know. I love like by poetry I mean like um what's that? That Rupi Kaur? She did that Milk and Honey and Homebody and some other. I love her books. I love Bukowski. He does a lot of like books like that where it's more like anecdotes and stories than it is actual writing, like, you know, like fictional. Non-fiction. Fictional. No, doesn't matter. Anyway, so I thought it'd be a really fun idea to when I'm doing these, to maybe go through the book. Like when I'm doing these episodes, go through the book and like kind of do it together. Because some of it is reading and some of it is like answering questions. And I thought that, you know, if there's something that I'm going to talk about, like I talk about anxiety, I talk about depression on here. So like we might as well do this book together. And I feel like it might be a little bit of just kind of like a little bit of a therapy moment, you know, like a contemplation piece in these like podcast episodes. Thought that might be quite fun. So it says, in this book, you will find advice to take you on the path to emotional healing and relief from stress. Anxiety can make daily life difficult, take over our thoughts, and prevent us from being our best selves. Through expanded quotes, practical exercises, and personal development questions, this book is designed to be a real support if you are going through periods of depression or anxiety. Each page offers you the opportunity to better understand your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. You can take it everywhere with you to give you a helping hand in managing your stress. Use it as a real guide. Obviously, there's questions I don't want to answer. I'm not going to answer, you know? But I think we just go through this and just kind of see what it's about. And then if you want to buy it, like, go ahead and buy it. I found it on Amazon. It wasn't even really that expensive. But yeah, it's called Today I'm Feeling Bad, Tomorrow I'll Feel Better. So, here's a note from the author. Depression and anxiety are a reality. What we can share on social networks or show in front of others is false. We reveal our best moments, but never the worst. I thought I would write this book to share my times of depression so that you don't feel alone in your own battles. I'm still trying to figure mine out, but trying to document and tell them has helped. Some days are better than others, but what I learned is that you are not your anxiety, you are just trying to manage it. Every day you manage to soothe it as a better day. Every small victory is a big step. The mind can be a beautiful thing, don't let it destroy you. Believe in yourself, don't be ashamed, and don't give up. This is kind of like this podcast, in a way. Like, I share a lot of personal and intimate things on here. And I do feel like, you know, the feedback that I've received from people is that it is entertaining and people find it funny and you know, and it is somewhat relatable. Not to toot my own fucking horn, but you know. But yeah, it's quite interesting. It's like a little Inception. You know? It's like a healing process within a healing process. That's interesting. Anyway, the first page says, "Are you ready to engage in your own healing process?" No. Close the book. Yeah. Obviously, my current situation. By answering these questions, you will be able to measure your progress at the end of this book. Oh, it's like a test. The end of a book is literally blank. Is that like a summary? Like, you've done it. Now your life's gonna be boring. What is your general emotional state at the moment? My general emotional state at the moment is very confused because I had a somewhat very destructive and it wasn't even like I feel like I woke up and I chose fight, you know? Like I really couldn't be fucked today. Like customers were pissing me off, everybody was pissing me off. I was just like, no, leave me alone. Then I had a nap. Then I took some of my pills, which I have now discovered which pills actually do help me. And I started taking these new pills that my mom gave me for stress and anxiety. It's like a brain pill. It's called photopholodoseder. Fuck knows. It's a very long name. There's about fucking 20 letters in this fucking name of this supplement. But from what I have seen, on most days I do feel better. I don't know what happened today. Maybe I didn't take my probiotic last night. I don't know. Maybe I was just having gut issues, you know? And now I feel fine. Now I feel okay. Now I feel like I'm doing what I love to do and I feel passionate and I feel very engaged and I'm very happy. So I'd say general emotional state confused. Fucking confused. Can you identify the triggers or possible causes of your anxiety or discomfort? Yes. A lot of my anxiety comes from actually my body because I've been listening to my body recently in the last couple of months. And I know that it comes from body image issues, comes from gut health. So a lot of the times when I feel I feel my best self in my body dysmorphia when I don't feel bloated, which is a very weird thing. But I feel very like sexy and I feel very like I'm ready to take on the world. I'm the main character, bitch, get out of my fucking way. But when I feel bloated, I feel fat, I feel ugly, I feel disgusted, I want to go hide, I want to put on fucking 3 layers of fucking hoodies. I am out. I think that's where a lot of it comes from. A lot of that anxiety and discomfort comes from that. It's not even people, because I can manage people. I can handle people. I either sort out your situation or tell you fuck the fuck off, you know? So it's not even people. I don't even think it's work, because everything at work is manageable. It's doable. Like, yeah, some things people say and some things people do, I just think like, where the fuck is your logic? Where's your sense of like actual human thinking with your brain? You know? Like, do I pay you to do this or do I pay you to be stupid? You know? But otherwise, work is manageable. If you can't do it one day, don't force yourself to do it. You know, just do it another day. And if I'm in a bad mood, well, I'm in a bad mood. Sorry, I'm not gonna fucking cheer myself up just to make you feel better. You know? So I think a lot of it comes from my body. I feel like if I actually started doing what I want to do and implement this health regime and like actually put focus on myself, today, to be fair, I've had a very good like day of eating. Like I had some yogurt this morning. I have some granola in it with some like raisins and chia seeds. Also, word of advice: don't eat fucking chia seeds at work because all you're gonna be doing is picking them out of your fucking teeth. But I thought like I'm gonna have chia seeds. I'm gonna be one of those like beauty influencer. I'm gonna have some. No, but don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Honestly, awful. I was sat there like the rest of my break just kind of picking my fucking teeth because Jesus. And then I got home. Oh, and I also had a sandwich because it was going out of date. So I had a sandwich. Anyway, I got home, made some mac and cheese. I had some cauliflower mac and cheese with some chicken, which to be fair, not too bad. Did have some garlic dough balls with that. So yeah, that's extra gluten on top of gluten. But you only live once. And then I went to take a nap, woke up, and I also had I had 2 disgusting fucking kiwis that were also out of date. So you would expect them, they were out of date from the 1st of fucking November. It's the 11th of November when I'm recording this. I don't know when I'm going to post this, but so you'd expect them, if they're going a little bit like out of date and they go a little bit softer, you'd expect them to be sweeter. They didn't fucking ripen at all. They were hard and sour and bitter. They were gross. Anyway, I had some kiwis and I had some more granola. With some, no, I had it with some milk. I had some flaxseed milk. So I basically blended up some flaxseed with some creatine and I put into the milk and I put my granola on top, which was great. And this was like 7 o'clock, so it was like a decent time as well. So I want to go back to fasting. I think going back to fasting between a certain, like in a time frame, I think helped me so much in the past. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, that's where my triggers come from. What are the main negative thoughts that come to your mind regularly? Luckily, I don't have, even though I joke about it all the time, I don't have any suicidal thoughts. Because I mean, what's the fucking point? I'm not a pussy. No, I understand mental health is serious and some people can't cope with it. Yeah, I get it. Anyway, I'm not like that. I don't have like, not to be, inconsiderate or insincere. I'm not gonna go kill myself because I'm fat. You know? Like, no. No, I'm not gonna do that. And if I know that that's the root of my issues, like, I'm gonna work on it. Like, I know that is the root of my issues. Because the thing is, look, I said this is the root. Because if I was, like, I'm not saying skinny. I don't want an eating disorder. I don't want to be, like, anorexic. I don't want to be ultra fucking skinny. No, because that's also not great. And I know full well that I'm not gonna suit being skinny. Like, fucking Meghan Trainor doesn't suit being skinny. You know? Oh, I'm saying a lot of shit on this podcast now. I'm canceled. Guys, this is the title. I'm so canceled. But no, so I know that if I had more confidence and I looked slightly, because my biggest issue is like when I turn my head or like when I'm a bit more relaxed, I feel like my facial expressions, yeah, they're funny and whatever, but I just see a lot of my face, like too many chins and too much body, and I don't want to see that. So if I get to a point where I'm healthy, I feel energized and I feel more motivated to do what I want to do, which is this and record videos and do whatever, I'll be happier, you know? Whereas now I'm kind of just in my dead end job and doing what I need to do. I come home tired and, because of my gut, because of my body, because of, and it's all gut related issues. That's what it is. The brain, there's a saying, the stomach, the eyes are the soul to the stomach, or fucking the gut and brain, everything's basically connected. My mom told me about this whole like philosophy that she has. Well, it's not that she has, she read it as well, but the brain's connected to every single organ of your body. So, the minute your gut fucking fails and you feel bloated and you feel awful, your brain goes into fucking overdrive. And this, for me, is all this. It's not even stress. It's not even people. I don't give a fuck about people. Get fuck. On my way. See you later. Not even that. Nobody phases me. Nobody scares me. I'm very secure in my job, in my position, where I am or where I need to be. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me about your life. Don't care. I don't care about your little personal issues. Do your job. Go home. Shut the fuck up. I don't pay you to yap. But so that's my theory. But what are my negative thoughts? I don't think I have any negative thoughts. Sure, sometimes I think about my only negative thoughts are basically, why are you talking to me? About me, the only thing. Literally get out of my fucking face. Or I'll move you myself. And that's there. That's my negative thoughts. So that was page 2. What are more questions? How motivated are you to make positive changes in your life? See, I feel like I'm answering all these questions like I'm reading ahead. I'm very motivated. I want to be motivated. I am going to do this. I'm going to achieve this. You'll see me in 6 months. You won't even fucking recognize me. I'm telling you this now. How do you view your life if you manage to overcome your anxiety? Fucking amazing. Brilliant. Rich. Success. No, I'm not one of those pretentious pricks. I am going to be happy. And I'm going to make everybody in my life happy. I'm going to make my parents very proud and very happy. Have you ever tried any techniques or methods to manage your anxiety or discomfort? If so, why? How did this help you? Yeah, taking a bath with a fucking toaster. Techniques? No, not really. My techniques are this podcast. This is my therapy. Like, sometimes I listen back on these episodes and I think like, Jesus, you're a miserable bitch in the beginning. And then by the end of it, I'm like energized and ready to make things happen. Unless it's one of those like ranting episodes where I'm just pissed off and, but I feel like I've come a very long way. Even just talking, one episode 50 minutes, the other 56 minutes, and I still have more to say. I still haven't told you everything. I still, there's still little bits and bobs that, kind of holding to the side. I don't know why. They just come up in my head, but I can't figure out how to place them into, into the context. So just kind of, yeah. But yeah, this is my technique. Maybe going for a walk, which I don't do. So exercising, I think, also does this for me, like anxiety. Every time I work out, especially before bedtime, I can't go to sleep. My brain's like, yep, let's party. I'm like, no, bitch, go to sleep. And yeah. So maybe I should start going to the gym like in the day time, not do this at night, but whatever. And that was the 6 first questions. Like part 1 of this book. And here's a little quote to end this episode off. I think the hardest thing is not knowing how to put into words how I feel. My mind is spinning, and when I try to explain it to others, it doesn't work. No one understands me. That's bullshit. That's a bullshit quote. I can put everything into words and everybody understands me. But I do get it. I do get it. Some people don't know how to express emotions. Some people struggle to talk about their feelings. I get it. I'm not one of those people, but but hey, I want to change. I will change. Cool. I like this book. It's fun, I think this would be a little fun exercise for us. We can do it together. I'm asking these questions and you can answer them as well, like to yourself, write them down, whatever. Get the book. We could do it together. Do what you want to do, but I'm enjoying this. Well, yeah, I think these 2 episodes are done. What other thing I wanted to say on this? I just remembered about being canceled, and this might be, I don't even care really. But I wanted to just say about to be fair, I wanted to bring up so many things that are happening in like media right now. I've completely, but I'm just gonna leave it for another episode. I'm gonna write everything down, and then we're gonna talk about it in another episode. I'm just gonna go through my list and see if I went through everything I wanted to go through. I think that's basically it. Just keep going. That was the last bit of my little note that I made. Little note to self. Just keep going. And that's the little, what do you fucking call it? A motto of this episode, I suppose. But I hope you enjoyed my almost 2-hour chat about my holiday and my transitioning. And yeah. Find me in the links down below. Find me places, talk to me, chat to me, ask me questions. Because I want to start doing things like people ask me questions, like a Q&A. I don't have any like fans that message me like questions, so I can't really do it. But I'd love to do, answer your questions and give you life advice about bullshit I have no idea or no clue about, you know. All right, I'll see you in the next one.